Please allow me now to introduce the gentleman who will be introducing our afternoon's keynote speaker. Here is Manila Bulletin's editor for Property and Living and Sustainability Environment section, Mr. Ray Ilagan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the afternoon session of the focus session. So, good afternoon. Our next keynote speaker was the former regional director and head of project leasing of Jones Lang LaSalle Incorporated. She has also been the general manager of Regis Manila, a pioneering company for modern and flexible workspace solutions. She was one of the key figures who spearheaded Regis' innovative concept of co-working and plug-and-pay offices in the early 2000s. Her excellence in the real estate industry and her advocacy in championing women empowerment earned her the distinction as the chairwoman of the Women in Business Committee of the European Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, providing a platform for mentoring and uplifting Filipina professionals. Please welcome the Chief Executive Officer at Lobien Realty Group, Ms. Shiela Lobien.
Good afternoon, everyone. I see a lot of young women here. I'm excited. So it's good to be here. I'm requesting for a wireless mic so I can see my slides and walk also. Again, first, I'd like to thank Philip from the Manila Bulletin for the invite. It's such an honor and a privilege to be with like-minded individuals, people, companies who are pushing sustainability, not just in real estate, but in all other sectors, businesses here in the Philippines. All right, okay. So this afternoon, I was requested to talk to you about real estate and sustainability. And when you talk about sustainability in real estate, it's very simple because real estate for us, it's not abstract. You see it, buildings, offices, warehouses, malls, hotels. Those are all properties, real estate, tangible. And when we say sustainability, it's basically balancing the negative effects of property building, construction, with the economic viability of the projects, at the same time, the social well-being or people who will be using that space eventually. And since we're all young people here, you're the next generation. So what the companies are doing today, of course, the Philippine government, this sustainability front, all the, I think, buzzword or things that you've heard this morning, it's just really simple to make things last so that you, the next generation, the next batch, will be able to enjoy not just the properties, but the environment, the community. It's making everything last, and hopefully they'll last beautifully for you to enjoy it. So, the rising need of sustainability in the property sector, why it's important, why people are pushing for that, and economically, why we need that for the country. So I'll talk about that. And today, as you can see, there are a lot of challenges. And Asia, where the Philippines is located, the pressing or the concern is the climate change, the urbanization, a lot of people living in Metro Manila, bulk of economic activities, they're still centered here in Metro Manila, NCR and NCR Plus. So imagine how many people living in a very small place. So the recent typhoon, a little rain, flooding na agad. That's the main concern. And the next few years, I think in 5 years, this is another concern, the rising population, overcrowding of public spaces. Metro Manila alone has almost 15 million people. It's a mega city. What is a mega city? A mega city is any city that has more than 10 million people living in it. And imagine that, we're very small and we have 14.9 million people living in Metro Manila. And it is expected that in the next 5 years, another 2 million will inhabit Metro Manila. So if the government and the private sectors will not do anything about this, it's going to be impossible, unlivable for us to be here. The traffic alone, you can feel that already. So aside from that, we've experienced the pandemic. And after, during the height of the pandemic, if you were staying in a very small condominium wherein you can't even open the window to have fresh air come in and no sunlight coming in, you'll go crazy. That's another topic, depression and all that. But those are just some of the items or challenges that we've experienced. Today, the Philippines, in terms of sustainability, global sustainability ranking, we still lag. We're still far behind our ASEAN neighbor. We're 92nd out of 140 plus countries, UN members. So there's challenges in research and development, housing, a lot of slums out there, and the government is currently addressing the housing backlog of the country. Aside from that, the transportation, public infrastructure that we have. But there are a lot of good stories and improvement right now that we see happening. So what are the actions and strategies of many companies? Earlier today, we've heard several companies doing their best and contributing to the sustainability, net zero, whatever, just to make sure that hopefully the next generation will be able to enjoy the community, better environment, sustainable Manila, Philippines eventually. And in the property sector, in the commercial real estate business, there are a lot of green projects or green certifications today. And I think most of the attendees here are from the engineering, economics, and business management department or architecture. And you've probably heard about all these green technical certifications. In the past, when we were starting to lease Fort Bonifacio like 20 years ago, and he mentioned that, I started my real estate career when there were just probably 1 or 2 green buildings in the Philippines. So when we were trying to help a big multinational company back then, there were only 2 buildings that are green certified. So one is Zwilig in Makati and Sun Life in BGC. But today, 15 years after, we have more than 400 plus green buildings. So this is good news. Companies are cognizant of the fact that they have to make properties, building that will last, that has a sustainable element in it. It's not just a must-have today, it's really a requirement, not just, things that nice to have, but it's a requirement today, especially the big global companies who are requesting for properties that are green certified. And some of the sustainability campaigns that we hear also, big architectural firms, small ones, and big developers and boutique developers, they're already advocating green, smart, livable city. And we need this. In the next how many years, the population will continue to grow. In the Philippines, we have 110 million Filipinos. And imagine in 10 years' time, you will get married, you will have kids, you will need more space. And hopefully, the developers will address that concern by providing a smart city where you can live, work, play in one area. And it's being done today. So the local government units also are being assessed, and we have this from the National Competitiveness Council, wherein they ranked multiple municipalities and cities all over the Philippines in terms of their economic improvement, governance, innovation, infrastructure, and resilience, so that when another pandemic happens or flooding, they'll be able to address that. And now, the next question is, why is this important? Is it really doable? Because like this morning, I think one of the topics was to do something green or to build a green project, it's expensive. So not many developers are welcoming that idea. And then the next question is, will there be companies or people who'll pay a premium? If I build something green, can I ask for more? because I spent a lot in building this. And the answer is yes, because globally, a lot of companies are also rolling out their ESG compliance, environmental, social, and governance. And one of that is in the environmental. They're very conscious because of the climate change, the urbanization happening everywhere. And there are a lot of big firms, companies who are here today, who are willing to pay a premium just to be in a property that's green, that's smart, that has a conscience. And it's part of their sustainability plan. And the Philippines is actually in the world stage. I'm sure you're very familiar with the outsourcing industry. We're the number one when it comes to call center voice. And second, when it comes to non-voice, a lot of talented young Filipinos. And the big firms, the global companies, Fortune 500 companies, multinational firms, they're coming here in the Philippines because of the talent, because of us, the local, and the very, I see a lot of young women. And the next few speakers are all women here. So it's part of that social part, diversity and inclusion is also included there. And companies now, they're promoting a lot of their women leaders to take the senior role, which is fantastic for all the young women that I see here. The future is brighter for you. Compared to us 20, 30 years ago, it was so hard to be a leader, a woman leader in an organization. But today, you will be supported, and companies are recognizing the value of women leaders in any company. So aside from all that I've mentioned, the government is also pushing the infrastructure project, which we need to make the Philippines even more competitive. We want our competitive ranking to move up, and big companies will look at that. So the infrastructure projects that we have all over the Philippines will decongest Metro Manila, will make Metro Manila livable. The traffic today is really crazy. Sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm happy because I know when it's traffic, there's movement in the market, and we want that to happen. We want people to go out, we want people to spend. I see SM, Ayala, they're happy because the malls are again packed, right? A lot of people are going out, shopping, traveling, and that's good. And there are a lot of projects, the Luzon Spine Expressway Network connecting Metro Manila to Calabarzon and Central Luzon, which will decongest Metro Manila and will bring urbanization in the provinces. We need that. We need more space, more smart cities, livable cities to house a lot of Filipinos. As mentioned, the housing backlog of the Philippines is still big. A lot of opportunities there. That's why a lot of developers are coming up with sustainable projects. Living area that's near public transportation. And hopefully we can see this. We can see this in our lifetime, if not our kids' lifetime. An environment where Filipinos can really use the public transportation, like what you see in Hong Kong, Singapore, and other first world countries. You can ride the train, the bus, to go from one point to another. In the Philippines, it's not the case yet. You bring your cars everywhere. That's why the traffic is crazy. But hopefully we'll get there. And that's why we need to support all the government projects and companies who are supporting sustainability as well. So in summary, these are the key takeaways. There is really a rising need for us to embrace sustainability in real estate, not just in real estate, but in other aspects, in other industries. As mentioned, the country lacks, we're still far behind when it comes to our sustainability ranking. We need to work on the housing, the public transportation, and of course, the infrastructure. And constructing green projects, as mentioned, there is really economic benefit there. The National Competitiveness Council, wherein they ranked the LGUs, the local government mayors, chiefs, that's very important, I think, so that they'll be really competitive, they'll improve the city, they'll make things work, so that us will benefit from that. And overall, as mentioned, there is really economic benefits when the country is sustainable. Our global competitiveness ranking will move up. More companies will look at the Philippines, will invest here in the country, and at the same time employ a lot of Filipinos, which will be good for the people who will be graduating soon. There will be more jobs for you, and you don't have to go abroad because there are a lot of opportunities here in the country. The outsourcing industry is a big industry, aside from the OFW remittances that we're getting. The outsourcing industry alone is around 39 billion US dollars. That's a lot of money. A lot of business opportunities can be made because of the growth in that segment alone. Plus, the tourism industry is also growing. And with that, this is us, companies that we've worked with, local and multinational firms, my co-founders, and you may follow us online if you want to know more about what's happening in the real estate and in the property sector. And with that, I wish everyone a pleasant afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much for that. Again, Ms. Shiela Lobien.